Our Federation of BC Writers Spotlight tonight shines on Vancouver-based writer Lozan Yamolky. Lozan Yamolky is the author of 3 poetry books, I'm No Hero and Counting Waves, through Silver Bow Publishing, and Dreamers Needed, self-published in McNally Robinson in 2019. Lozan was one of the recipients of the Distinguished Poet Award from Writer International Network Canada in 2018, and the first prize winner of the 2019, sorry, someone else going to be able to pronounce that, unfortunately?
Rabindranath Tagore.
Aha, yes. She was also commissioned by the DeKalb Chamber Choir in 2017 to write about the refugee experience. Lozan is Kurdish, born and raised in Baghdad. She immigrated to Canada in 1995. She is a freelance interpreter living in Vancouver, and she is here with us tonight. So please welcome Lozan Yamolky. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. As you said, yes, I'm very honored and I'm very humbled to be here with you tonight. Thank you for all that make it tonight. I would like to acknowledge that I live on the unceded and unsurrendered territory of Tsleil-Waututh, Squamish, and Musqueam nations. At this very moment, right now, I'm in a place called Vernon, which is also the unceded land of the Silix Timix, which is Okanagan, and the Squamish territory. And I'm very honored and humbled to be living on their land. Thank you so much for having me. As you mentioned, yes, the 3 poetry books. The last one is called Dreamers Needed, and I'm going to read you a poem from here. The photo of my boys, they were in the car, they were snoozing on top of each other. They look funny. So the theme is dreamers. We need dreamers because dreamers are going to save the world. Thank you so much. So I'm just going to get right to it. I wrote this new poem. I'm currently working on simultaneously on a 4th manuscript for my 4th poetry book collection, and also at the same time taking lessons weekly with Sylvia Taylor, working on a manuscript for my memoir. My memoir is about my story from the moment the the liberation of Kuwait in 1991. That was my 19th birthday. From that day, 18th birthday. And that's when the story ends when we landed in Canada. So the journey from my homeland into my new home in Canada. So I hope you guys stay tuned and you get to hear more about it. Poetry time. I am a poet, a dancer, a climate activist. I am a mother, a wife. I am a woman. I'm an auntie, a great auntie, a stepmother, and even a step-grandmother. I'm a storyteller. I'm a fearless warrior. I'm a free spirit. I am Kurdish. I am awake. I am free. I am a former refugee. I'm an immigrant, and I am in gratitude. I am a healer. I am love, and I plant trees. I am the voice for those who are voiceless. I am the words scribbled on a dark prison wall. I make secrets expires in poetry because I am the descendant of an infant that survived the Armenian genocide. I'm going to share with you my poem that I wrote. I was commissioned by the DeKalb Chamber Choir to write a poem about the refugee experience. If you search the DeKalb Chamber Choir, they're 2019 in March, they had a concert and they put this poem into a choral song. Absolutely. I could not stop crying while they were singing my poem. I am here. The theme of the poem is the refugee experience. I am here. You won't find me in the abandoned towns, the empty schools, playgrounds, or the collapsed hospitals of my homeland. You won't find me at my friends' houses on a bicycle in a park or in a roofless home on a dark and frightening night. You won't find me in the market that is now colorless and empty. You won't find me on a prayer mat at a mosque that is now a sniper's enclave. You won't find me on a merciless, rocky mountain path filled with women, overflowing with women and children, searching for safety under a brutal hot sun. You won't find me covering my ears to drown out the din of the relentless bombing. You won't find me in cities blanketed with smoke, carpeted with blood of the innocent, oozing beside a fading horizon that begs the sun not to leave at dusk. You won't hear my name mentioned in the keening cries of parents left childless in a mayhem. You won't find me buried along those that perish from hunger and pain while longing for peace. You won't find me among little girls bought and traded and used, spoils of war. You won't find me clinging to dear life on a flimsy boat crossing the sea in search of a new place to call home, and you won't find my life jacket floating. You won't find me drowned in the sea, washed up on unforgiving shores, or wrapped in a golden rescue blanket, unable to speak or cry. You won't find me. You won't find me in the crowd, fleeing the imminent and terrible end. You won't find me fenced in behind a gate from which I cannot escape and at the mercy of an army that do not understand the words I speak. You won't find me dousing flames of a burning refugee camp in Lesbos. You won't find me picking up food scraps from the grounds of Vienna, and you won't spot me escaping bulldozers, crushing my makeshift home on an icy dawn in Calais, France. You won't find me where I used to belong or where I have been lost on this journey. I'm no longer languishing in refugee camps. I am not there, because I have been found, and just like a little tree, I am planted in a new soil. I am here. I am here now. All you must do is help me grow, because I am the child, and this is our village. Thank you. This one I wrote to my dear uncle. His name is Yamolky. He's a musician, a poet, a well-known poet, a composer, musician, and just like all in all, amazing man. I hope you guys get to hear his music. His name is Yamolky, and this is what he taught me. An ode to a dear uncle. I learned from my uncle Sirwan that silence is a language. Freedom can enslave you, body and soul, and solitude could be a crowded and noisy place in your mind. I learned that you can find unmatched beauty you want to fall in love with in imperfection, in brokenness, and even in pain. The God that many of us fear and revere is a brilliant artist and at times a prankster with a good sense of humor. I learned that there's nothing on this earth smells sweeter than the scent of a newborn baby, and nothing can be more intoxicating than the long, drawn-out kiss from a lover after a long time apart. He told me that nothing can make you gloomier than the memory of the voice of a departed loved one. That loved one that you wish would walk through that door one more time. This is the poem that received the first International Award Poetry of 2019 at the Rabindranath Tagore Festival in India. The judges from India, France, Australia, and the States, I believe, and they awarded me the first prize. I used the money that I got, which was 50,000 rupees. I know it sounds like a lot of money, but it was like about $94. It's all good. I gave it to a new refugee family that just came to Canada for their school supplies. Peace treaty. Only after blood smears every white dress, every classroom floor, and every blade grass on the ground, blade of green grass on the ground. Only after fires consume all toys, all books, all photographs. Only after cities and towns and peaceful villages get reduced to rubble, leaving not a single glass unbroken. After children are orphaned, wives widowed, and mothers grieve, yet continue to cook and clean and give birth. After peace protesters imprisoned, poets are killed, journalists are dissolved in acid, and peacekeepers are thrown into exile. After every hospital is bombed, every medical, food, and convoy is blocked from entering to lend a helping hand, after every refugee tent collapses on its occupant from the weight of the falling snow. Only after everyone seeking safety is humiliated, beaten, and turned away as an unwelcomed guest. After innocents seeking to survive are shuffled about and fenced in like herd of livestock with no regard for human dignity or care for their safety. After a motherland becomes nothing but bad news on every television screen, only then those who waged the war and devastated a watchful humanity will call on the world to see the history in the making. The eye-catching, extravagant celebration display those leaders wearing lavish suits and ties, smile and embrace, looking at 1,000 clicking cameras. They shake hands and sign the peace treaty. Woohoo! Thank you. Thank you. I said I'm good with time, right? Somebody's telling me. Am I good with time? The camera is moving. I hope you can still hear me. So let me see if I can change. I can see you. Hi, everybody. So this one I wrote. It's called My Family. This poem I wrote. Ukrainian International Airline Flight 752 was shot down by Iranian missiles shortly after takeoff on January 8, 2020, killing all 176 passengers, including 57 Canadian citizens. Two of those were lost were Snur Parbardi and Stevan Pashvan. Those mother and daughter, the father owned a bakery in North Vancouver. So I wrote this poem. My family. I'm not broken. I am shattered. I am not weeping. I am drowning in my own tears. I am not hurting. I am partially dead inside because they took away my family. Break every bone in my body. Just do not take my family away from me. Torture me and cut every nerve ending in my body. Just don't harm my family. Burn my body alive and whole. Just don't kill my family. Point your mightiest weapon. Point all your mightiest weapons at me and shoot. Just don't point it at my family. Let me be the last husband, the last father to die ever protecting his family from your insatiable lust for blood, power, ego, oil, control, and your insatiable desire to accumulate wealth. Take back your flowers. Take back all your flowers. Instead, go tell them to not press that button. Take back your condolences. I don't want them. Instead, go and shout at them to stop. Stop, for God's sake. Blow out all these lit up candles. Instead, go and tell the world to never let them get away with it. Don't let them hurt another soul. Stop the senseless slaughter. Enough violence, enough mistakes, enough excuses, enough friendly fires, enough destruction of innocent lives that just want to live life. My family didn't deserve this. I don't deserve this. You don't deserve this. Thank you. I'm getting a little cold in here. Sorry. This one, I wrote this. It's called The Planet is Healing, and so is my heart. I'm pretty sure each one of you can write a book about your experience when we're on lockdown in March. This one I wrote when it was February, no, it was March, April 27. I wrote this on April 27 on the Coast Salish territory. The natural world unchanged since the planet far and wide pandemic was declared. Streams from melting snow caps continue to flow, and refreshing spring rain keep on wakening tree branches and living seeds and creatures beneath the soil that has been in deep slumber since last fall, awakening them all from the tight grip of last year's unforgiving winter ice, sleet, and snow. Ocean waves and tides keeping their natural rhythm like a clockwork, ebbing and flowing as they have done since the dawn of creation. The April puffy white clouds keep rolling across the sky, clear and blue, and the breeze is now breathable, scentless. Without the haze of human-made smog, mountains miles away can be seen crisp, clear. A mother deer wandering and grazing the empty front lawns as her fawn nurses, unafraid by anyone. A squirrel foraging and nibbling on a freshly bloomed green spring shrubs, and birds continue to sing from dawn to dusk, loud, uninterrupted by the massive non-stop flow of "I gotta be somewhere fast" traffic. Soothing silence enveloping every town across the globe, the calm demeanor on every person's face I see, and a connection more substantial than it's ever been, bonded families and people that haven't spoken in ages, creatures, sensing the sweet reprieve and taking it all in. Stuttering around like runway models, showing off beauty we only seen on screens and magazines. As this planet heals from the harm that I have caused it, my heart is healing along. As I slowly return to my natural rhythm, I am finding comfort in isolation, healing in loneliness, and pure, pure sweet medicine in breathing in and breathing out, breathing in and breathing out. I rest a while each day and admire how this planet can heal. This planet is healing, and so is our heart.
Excellent. Woo! Oh, so beautiful, Lozan. Just amazing poetry tonight. Thank you so much for sharing those amazing, just incredibly powerful words and images. So you got to read the comments in the chat room. Everyone is just like, ooh, just like, oh my God, so wonderful, so wonderful. We enjoyed it immensely. We want your books now. So thank you very much for coming. Do we have time for a quick question and answer session? Anybody? Anyone finished wiping away the tears? You got a question?
Lozan, tell them where they can buy your books.
Oh, before you ask question, I can, yeah, my friend is reminding me. So my books can be ordered directly. You can ask me and I'll send it all over the world for you. You just send me a message, and my name is Lozan Yamolky, and then you can, if you see me on Facebook or even from the poster of the program, find me and send me a direct message. I'll be pleased to ship your book. All my books are $20. And normally every book sold, I put $5 aside and I give it to a family that need help. So every book you buy from me is gonna go help others. So
Awesome.
That is awesome. Thank you very much. So,
I have a question.
fire away.
What made you decide to write stuff like about this kind of on this stuff? Like, how did you become a writer, and what made you do it?
it's all my uncle's fault. Don't blame me. My uncle told me that I was a poet before I even know I was a poet. And it turned out that I found out that actually I come from a line of poets. My great-grandfather, who was a general in the Ottoman Empire, he was a very well-known Yamolky poet. So I started writing poetry very young age. And I was very ashamed because some girls in school used to grab my poetry and they would read it out loud and they make fun of me for writing such feelings about how I felt insecure, how I felt inadequate compared to the others. So they read it out loud and they laugh at me even more. And my uncle once saw me. He says, "Why are you crying?" And I told him they're making fun of me. I wish I can stop writing, Uncle. I told him I wish I could stop writing. And he said, "Sweetheart, you're a poet. You can't help it." And I believe poets are vessels in this world and messages come through us. Half of the work I do is not mine. It just comes to me and I just share it with the world. So I'm very humbled.
All right. So when those kids teased you with your poetry, I'm just wondering what language were you writing in at the time?
Oh, it was in Arabic. I used to write in Arabic. But I have been in Canada for 26 years. And when I came to Canada, I could speak English. And when you be in a place, in Arabic, we have من عاشر القوم من عاشر قوما 40 يوما صار منهم. In Arabic, it says, if you remain in community for 40 days, you become one of them. So now I'm even thinking in English. So the poems comes in English.
Oh,
Wow.
Well, things work out the way they do, huh? Anybody else got another question for Lozan? One more?
If you have any, you can always send me a message, direct message, question, I'm willing. And also my name, lozanyamolky.com. Also, I have a website. You can always. that way. And I'm here and I'm happy to share my poems. And I'm so honored to be invited today. I'm thankful.
Well, it's good to have you.
And we are thankful for enjoying you this evening. Yes. So that's it for questions and answers.
How did
And we got one more thing to say. Jacqueline's happy. Okay.
Jacqueline's always happy.
Thank you. Well, let's